Right there, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. We're going to be talking today about Angelo Stiller. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Conor Gallagher as well. And I'm sure we'll end up talking a little bit about Anderson, about Wharton, about people's preferences. And then after we're done, a little bit on that, open the floor up, talk about what anything anybody wants, anything that comes to mind, any of that, and we can get stuck straight into it. So, there's been some recent reports talking up Manchester United's interest in bringing Stuttgart midfielder Angelo Stiller either in January or summer. Now, Stiller's 24. He's someone that is known massively about being a progressive ball-playing midfielder. Not exactly, but if I had to compare him to someone in Manchester United sort of history, it'd be more in the Carrick than Keane mould, if you like. Valuation is 50 million euros, about 40-ish million quid. There's been some real strong performances in the Bundesliga. I know straight away a lot of people have just gone, ugh. Not a great translation, admittedly, with Bundesliga, but there's still some sensational players that have come from there. He is in the truly elite percentiles for all sorts of different metrics. Not the defensive ones, it must be said, though. Yeah, not really the defensive ones at all when it comes to Stiller. Possession, yes. Tackles, we're talking 16th percentile. Blocks, 30th. Shots blocked, 27. Interceptions, 45. Clearances, 51. Like, you're talking, like, real low down. Especially when you're comparing that to sort of his possession stuff. Touches, you're talking 97th percentile. Take-ons, no, sorry, not take-ons, sorry. Carries 95% percentile, carry distance 91st percentile. You're talking passes received 96th percentile. He gets on the ball a hell of a lot. In terms of the passes that he's creating, attempting 97th percentile. You're looking at through balls 94th percentile, passes into the final third, just everything about what he's doing 96th percentile, passes into the penalty area 95th percentile. Like, he's putting 8.5 passes per 90 into the final third. He's getting 2 key passes per game. He is a pass master. When it comes down to the defensive side, not so much. Not so much. What you see in the Stuttgart midfield, Stuttgart play a 4-2-3-1, so he is essentially in a midfield 3. Carazzo does a lot more of the sort of defensive work than he does. A lot more of the defensive work than he does. What the detail are from the reports. So United's interest, multiple sources, including Sky Sports Deutschland, confirm that United are among some of the clubs that are monitoring him closely. The club view him as a long-term replacement for Casemiro. The ability to break lines, contribute defensively, align with what Amorim's looking for. No formal bid submitted yet, but initial scouting and talks have reportedly been held. Romano also says that there's been some fresh clarity in United's interest in Stiller, confirming that the club have been monitoring the midfielder closely but haven't initiated negotiations or a late push during the summer window. And he said that Stiller is always set to stay at Stuttgart last summer, saying that any rumours of a surprise potential deal, like we did a scout report on him in the summer because there was some rumours. Romano saying that there wasn't anything in those. There was no talks of Real Madrid, despite some reports. However, he did say that there has been some internal appreciation at Old Trafford because of the qualities as a deep line playmaker, and United are continuing to track him. So he could end up being someone that is very much on United's radar. I mean, you guys let us know in the comments. I think there would probably be quite a lot of people preferring Wharton if you was going to go down the more playmaker route. And I wonder here, so you've got Conor Gallagher, you've got Stiller, you've got Wharton, you've got Anderson, I guess you've probably got Baleba, and there's probably a half a dozen others in the mixer as well. I think that there's potentially a couple of different pots at play here. I don't think Anderson and Wharton are necessarily on the same list, just like I wouldn't think Conor Gallagher and Angelo Stiller are on the same list. Conor Gallagher is more in the Anderson mould. I wonder if they would maybe want to bring in Conor Gallagher on loan. That's something that's been discussed, supposedly. And maybe move for Anderson in the summer instead, because it's more of a profile of a player than the specific player himself. Now, here's what's been said. Ben Jacobs said that United will entertain a loan move for Conor Gallagher from Atletico Madrid in January transfer window, potentially reviving interest in him. And he spoke about the broader context of United midfield reinforcement, saying that Gallagher's limited playing time at Atletico, he's only started twice in 8 matches, is a bit of a factor that could see the temporary switch feasible. Atletico did reject a similar loan inquiry from United previously, but he said the club remains open to exploring some short-term options if Madrid softens their stance, or on a permanent deal early on, seeing Gallagher's sort of high-energy box-to-box profile as the sort of dynamism that we need in midfield. And I think he represents an archetype of player very much like what Elliot Anderson is. So I think that that's something that could really work in United's favour, I think. Whereas I think Stiller and Wharton are probably more in the sort of same bucket as a profile of player. I mean, you guys let me know what you guys think. MN2K says, does that mean that we are done with Baleba? I just don't know if the form, the monumental form drop-off of Baleba is going to mean he's a hard sell. It's going to mean he's a massively hard sell to try and get someone to bring him in, I think, I would say. I'm just going to go up to the top and see what some of you guys are saying. Iman says, Baleba, Anderson, Wharton, Stiller, Gallagher. Yeah, that's who we're getting linked with. Clearly, there's a list, isn't there? There's clearly a midfield shortlist sort of being put together here. And we can probably look at that one, I think, and see where it goes. Jake Nelson says, evening. Good evening. Connor says, evening, Steve. Hope your day's been top. It's been all right. Yeah, it's been okay. Morris says, got my paddock kit yesterday. Absolutely, man. Awesome. Yeah, I think there's only 50 left to send out, I think. So most of them have now gone out. There was a good few hundred sold. So nice one for that. I hope to see as many of you guys tag me and the club in as many of your pictures as possible, and we'll get them shared. Always want to share that. Thomas says, makes me sad talking about midfielders, shows Cobby closer to the door. It might do, but also, we still need to bring somebody in, and he's not a natural fit for what we're trying to achieve like right now, so it makes sense. Joseph says, British institution is Greg's. I mean, yeah. What's he on about? Oh, yeah. Travel to Manchester from America for the March versus Brighton. For the match versus Brighton. Not March versus Brighton. Any food recommendations? Do a Greg's just for the shits and giggles. But there's a few places in Manchester that I absolutely recommend. And I would say Ramona is quite high up on there at the moment. I need to have a think, actually, about some spots in town, because the places that I usually frequent have let me down last few times that I've been there. Ramona doesn't miss, though. So that's usually a spot to go check out. Stephen says, evening pal, well done for the High Rocks. Truly inspiration to the many morning videos going out. Got me walking again. The peace in the early morning are a major stress relief. Thank you. There's been some outrageous comments, possibly too, sensitive and private for me to share about what people have been saying. But honestly, I'm truly, truly humbled by some of the messages and support that we get from those morning videos. And there's a handful of people that be like, stop talking about this and just talk about the news topic or whatever. But no is the answer. We're going to keep doing it. And I'm going to try and bring them a little bit over to Instagram for some more short shareable stuff as well. Just trying to figure out how to do that a little bit. But, if I can be a positive influence on someone's life, why wouldn't I fucking do that? So, yeah, at the end of the day, my channel doesn't say Manchester United news. It's what I talk about a hell of a lot. But I also cover World Cups and Euros and maybe a big transfer to somebody else and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever I say it is, because the name down here, it just says Stephen Howson, right? So that's the name on the tin. So we'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to, okay? And the bottom line is that people are getting a lot out of it. So we're going to keep doing it. The bit of Moose says some of those German teams are championship level. Might have a point. Ronnie says, Steve, get a little closer to the camera for me. Darren says, no thanks to Gallagher. McQuater says, Gallagher is a good fit. Passing and work rate, even his leadership is great, Prem proven too. David said, what's the timeline on the Stiller and or midfielder reinforcement? I missed the start, winter or something. Both. It wasn't specific. So I guess it's one of those. Tyler says, good luck getting players out of Athletic. Seems like this one could be doable, to be honest with you. Stephen says, Red Bull Steve wouldn't keep letting all this Ronaldo trolling pass without him getting two-footed. Did I miss something on the podcast on Monday? Someone said something, but I've not actually seen it. So what did I miss on Monday? Moonman says, Steve Anderson's been acting very much as a deep-line playmaker for a large part of this year, both club and country, averaging more passes than most players in the Prem, not just midfielders. I'll accept that completely, but he also is a little bit more all-action in his style compared to a Wharton and absolutely compared to a Stiller. Garrett says, don't really know the profile of midfielder that the system needs. Do you know what? I'm a little bit with you on that one. And that, you know, I was fortunate enough to manage to grill the manager himself in summer for a good 10 minutes, and he was kind enough to answer with proper answers, to be fair to him. And I still came away with about 15 more questions that I would love to ask him. So, don't know, might have to lean on Rio and see the next time Rio goes if I can fucking sneak in behind him and be like, hey, remember me? Right, I've got 44 more questions for you. Sit the fuck down and see how far we can get with it. Justin says, surely Wharton is the best option. We're going to have to spend big money on the midfield and Bundesliga doesn't translate well. I would be happier going with Premier League proven, for sure, because it just lessens that sort of settling in period. However, I'm not totally against signing anyone from anywhere. And I think that Ineos probably would look to have the majority of our transfers coming from Premier League clubs if we just go off what we saw this summer. Wouldn't you agree? Noah says, how was the High Rocks for me? I read that as all part of the same thing. How was the High Rocks for me? We needed a defensive midfielder. I'm like, huh? How was the High Rocks? It was hard. Obviously, I did it in 2 hours 10. If I could run, I can get 40 minutes off that time by running. Literally 40 minutes off that time by running. So that's my aim. I am circling the idea, very likely going to cancel my London ticket, get a refund on that, and just focus on, I got 12, 13 weeks till Manchester, and try and have a real good run up at Manchester and try and post a respectable time for Manchester. I think 6 weeks with a calf injury is like, I'll probably be just about back to running 5Ks in 6 weeks, but running 5Ks doesn't mean you're High Rocks fit. So an extra 6 weeks on top of that for Manchester is probably what the doctor ordered, I think. So I'm very, very likely to chin off the London one, 4th of December, and just focus on the 21st of Jan for Manchester. Yeah, I agree on the defensive midfielder part, though. Ren says, Greg's steak slice is all you need. Right, okay. Please rank your Greg's item of choice, because I think a lot of the people that are not in the UK right now probably don't know that there is a variety of things. Do not go to Greg's and buy an egg sandwich. What are you doing? Especially ones from the fridge. No. We only go to Greg's for the hot stuff, and the hot stuff we're talking about is your steak slice or your steak bake. We're talking, the missus doesn't mind a cheese and onion one. I quite like the sausage and bean melt. But the sausage roll is king swinging dick, right? Nothing fucks with the sausage roll. Am I right? And you can stick your vegan ones up your ass, for starters. So make sure you don't go in and ask for the vegan one. I'm gonna rank them: sausage roll, steak bake, sausage and cheese, melt, and anything else can go fuck itself, to be honest with you. But that's my order. Let me know where you line up on that in the comments. Jake says, Anderson has been awesome. Really impressed with him, and he's played his way into being unstoppable for England. What a top signing but expensive, I'm guessing. Don't know his contract situation. Not too expensive, but certainly not cheap either, I would say. Tom says, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I'm not taken by Belaber or Stiller. Would rather take Anderson and Wharton, although I don't see any of their qualities that Manu doesn't already have. I think Wharton is a lot more defensive than Manu, and I think his passing is just a different type of passing. I think Manu's got a lot of qualities. Listen, if you had those two in a midfield three with anybody else, they'd be a sensational midfield three. But playing in the two requires a certain set of skills that I think Manu could get, but I don't think he's obviously got right now. M2K says, if Bruno and Casemiro and possibly Ugarte go next season, could you see us going for Stiller and Wharton, Anderson, or all three? I think it would be two of the three. Yeah, potentially two of the three. Because what you've got to think then is you've still got Manu, and you've got a box-to-box, a slightly more offensive, and a deep-line playmaker. And that would give you enough to sort of cover, someone's sitting out every single week probably, but that would be a different person each week. And obviously you've got Europe to factor in, hopefully. So I think that would probably work. Garrett says, I do enjoy the morning, mate. I think that means morning videos. I'm not presuming there, I guess. The Better Move says, we're getting two midfielders. I think we might. I think you're going to probably lose Bruno, Casemiro, Ugarte, if not two of those three. So, yeah. Maurice says, I came last year from North Carolina, had a great time at Brewdog before heading to Old Trafford. Oh, shit, where have I gone? Mister says, Anderson alongside Cobby on paper makes sense. Anderson seems to be a decent understanding when to defend as a 6 and when to assist the attack as an 8, not being afraid to get into the 10. I agree with that. Robert says, I managed to get my wife, 2 sons and myself tickets to our first match at Old Trafford against West Ham, 4th of December. Fantastic. Is that Thursday night? That feels like it's Thursday night, doesn't it? Why are we playing fucking Thursday night? I only know that because that was the day I was doing High Rocks in London. 4th of December. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff. That reeks of being a Thursday night. Could be a Wednesday night. It's a Thursday night. Why the fuck are we playing on a Thursday night? That's absolutely fucking dog shit, isn't it? Anyway, where have we gone? Chat, come back. Gav says, mate, in a bit of a slump at the minute, and the morning vids are class. Keep them coming. Well, mate, that's what them morning vids are like. They started off with a bit of an intention. I'd have to go back to see what we actually said was the intention of them, because it's probably evolved. But we definitely started off with a bit of an intention of just saying good morning, mate, because I definitely saw something from Andrew Huberman, which is like there's something really powerful in saying good morning. And a lot of people don't have someone to say good morning to, so I sort of became a surrogate mate to say good morning to. And I thoroughly enjoyed being that guy that everyone just said good morning to, but it's recently kind of just morphed into, people being a real nice place where people are dead supportive and dead sharing, and YouTube comments can be full of utter knobs, but them morning videos have just been a real filter for genuinely top people. So I'm as thankful as you guys are, for you guys being there as anything else. So I'm just going to say thank you to you lot. Because it's you got. If no one fucking watches it, it's just me chatting at a fucking camera in my car in the morning or on a fucking hill, innit? So you guys are the ones that make it. Les says, Stiller not for me. Anderson or Belaber makes better sense suited to an Amorim team. Will I be in the Stretford end? Will the Stretford end in the corner? Oh, we'll be in the Stretford end in the corner. Will I be there? Yes, I will be there. We don't have a game this weekend, so I am there. Deji said, stay out. Deji says, Ronnie said, stay out. Send me the clip. We'll be talking about that. He nominated me as Wally of the Week for the Knutsford game. How the fuck am I getting the blame for the Knutsford game? Did I defend like a fucking helmet? Did I shit out of tackles? No, I was up for it. Not having that. Oh, me and the lads for the 3-0 loss. Oh, okay. Yeah, Ronnie's getting the Garnacho treatment. Don't worry about that. Abhinav says, Steve, watch the Paddock podcast on Monday. Ronnie did a Sancho threw me under the bus for Paddock's 3-0 loss. Well, wasn't me that missed a 1v1. Do I not see Gallagher as a more athletic Mount? I don't know if I'd call him more athletic, and I also don't think I would compare him to Mount too much neither. No, he's a lot deeper. A lot deeper. A-Man says, Gallagher is more of a 10. No. No, he's not. He's definitely an 8. Montana says, what is a high rock? Spelled Highrockks. That's not how you spell it. It's a fitness race. You do a 1K lap, and then you do a ski erg, and then a 1K lap, and then you do a sled push, and then a 1K lap, and then a sled pull, and then a 1K lap, and then 80 meters of burpees, and then a 1K lap, and then it's a row, and then a 1K lap, and it's a kettlebell carry, farmer's carry, and then a 1K lap, and then it's some lunges, and then a 1K lap. There's burpees in there somewhere. Basically, you do 8 1K laps with 8 stations of all of that lot. Finishes with 100 wall balls, by which time your legs are absolutely cooked. Average time's about hour and a half-ish, hour 30, hour 40. I did it in 2 hours 10 because I had to fucking walk the running part. I'm aiming to get under an hour 25 for Manchester. The elite are doing it in about an hour. There's a few people in my gym that are fucking genuinely elite, and there's people doing sub 1 hour. I believe the world record in a singles is like 53 minutes. Fuck that. It's just absolutely lightning fast. Really, really good is anything under like 115 on a singles. Right, people are going for their Greggs. We've got sausage roll, sausage and bean. Don't hate a Greggs pizza, but they're never warm. I agree with that. Sausage roll, cheese and onion also doesn't sound bad. Yeah, the cheese and onion's good. Yeah, I mean, if you're someone that doesn't eat pork, Greggs ain't really got a lot of options, but they do a cheese and onion pasty, which is pretty good. Stephen says, ooh, steak bake, sausage roll, chicken bake, fuck anything with a V in it. Super chat from Rolo says, what do I think of the Endrick link to United? Well, I haven't seen the Endrick link to United. I'm also not necessarily convinced with Endrick, to be honest with you. Murray says Mainu and Anderson would be a good pair of midfield. If we're going athletic, get Llorente, not Gallagher. I think, well, on loan? Is he available on loan? Adam says they need to be hot though in some Manchester near the and they'll be freezing. You know, there's literally 17 Greg stores in Manchester. There's 3 on the same street before you even get to like the main part. Just on Piccadilly Approach, there's 3. There's literally fucking 3. One of them is hidden in between 2 vape shops. Don't even have a fucking sign. You just have like, is that a Greg's? You walk inside, it's a fucking Greg's. It's always the move. Don't go to one near Piccadilly train station. It's rammed. Just walk 100 metres down the street and there's 2 more. Lebo Salford says High Rocks equals hybrid Rockstar. I refuse to acknowledge that or accept that, and I think that's someone having a blag and no one's just fixed it. King Fair says, how many 1K laps? 8. 8 1K laps with 8 stations in the middle. Miles says, what's next? Ronnie's brother leaking lineups. Thomas says, saw G-Nev in Euston Station today. He's taller and stockier than I thought he would be. Bitter Moose says, as many as the mobile shops in Barcelona. Notch says, no notification this was going live. YouTube's a salty bitch at times, isn't she? Shankar says, good morning, mate. Should be a t-shirt. Someone actually approached me about doing that. I said I don't know, to be honest with you. Robert says, travelling all the way from Reading. Well, let's hope it's a win for you and for all of us. Liam says, the thing with Cobby is you don't get better at what you don't do. If he doesn't get game time, he won't be good enough. You can still work on it in training, but yeah, the proof is in 90-minute match days, I think. Adam says, bloke in Cornwall I knew says they had to stop selling pasties because they kept getting their windows smashed in. Weird bunch, are very protective over their famous pasty. Wait, what? Who did? Greg's did? No way. Yeah, I guess it's a whole thing in it in Cornwall. Rezi says, morning videos are great, been on, off, more off, working out the last few years and struggling. Maybe a good topic for some mornings might be how to start, like day 1, abs, day 2, legs, day 3, full body. But the thing is, mate, it's entirely up to anyone. I can give you my program and you can go, this is utter fucking dog shit and it doesn't work for me. My program, my program's available to everybody that's on Patreon. And I update it probably monthly as things happen. Blake might have a new class that she goes to, something like that. Something in my life, priority changes, so I have to move things around. My program fits my lifestyle, and I fit in. I made it a priority that I go, and then I fit it in around work and everything that I have to do. Saturday is a long ass day because I have coaching. There's a lot of United involved usually on a Saturday. I've got family stuff I have to take care of. I always have my physio on a Saturday, so I can't stop and fucking read a text on a Saturday because it'll throw me. I get stuck in traffic somewhere, I'm fucked. Part of the reason I'm so anal with my planning is because my fucking entire day is going just to fucking fit everything in. If I get to the gym and someone's on all of the running machines, I'm fucked. I literally need to walk in, do my warm up, get on the treadmill, and I got to run quickly to get it all done in a certain time to move on to the next part. I can't fuck about. So if I said to you, hey, there's my program, go do that, it's not going to work. I think the best thing you could do is just, keep it simple, stupid, innit? Janine challenged me August last year when we came back from America to do 30 days of 15 minutes on the Stairmaster. And the whole game was just go in there and do 15 minutes. You've got 15 minutes. Every single day you've got 15 minutes. And that's it. Go and do 15 minutes. And you can stay and do more if you want, but just go and do 15 minutes. And I took it even further than that. I just go to the gym. Go to the gym, log in, get in the door, stand there, and fucking go home if you want. You won't. You never will. But you can. You're allowed to, but you've got to go and make that deal with yourself. I'm going to go and I'm going to stand in the fucking gym and then I can leave, but you won't leave because the hardest thing is getting your fucking kit on and getting down there. Once you're in there, you're sweet and you can do whatever you need to do. For how many times you sit and watch the Champions League, tonight or whatever, you could do that on the fucking Stairmaster if you really wanted to. It's just simple as that. Gibbsy says, I moved to Cornwall from Reading and honestly a bunch of weirdos. Do you know what? No doubt whatsoever. With got their own language down there and that, all that in it, yeah. Proper different than that, innit? That's probably more Devon, if I'm being honest. However, I love Cornwall. I think it's a fucking top gaff. Is it too early to laugh at Garnacho? Never. Michael says, evening mate, as someone who struggled with their mental health for 13 years, been in the darkest places, just want to say thanks for the morning vids. See, there you go. That's why we're not fucking changing them. And that's why some of them have been literally just fucking morning mate and not even got any level of United news on them. Notch says, 15-minute walk, first thing every morning, sunlight, even in the storm. Yeah, I think it's one of the most fucking impactful things ever. I think getting out and doing movement just does wonders for you. I'm hoping that I'm not as stiff as I am today, and I've fucking really struggled walking with my calf today. So I'm trying to ease off because I've got a walk on Sunday that I'm doing, like a meet-up walk. It's in Macclesfield if anyone's interested. I'll post the details on my Instagram. It's with 7 Layer, the clothing brand. If anyone wants to join us, I think you can just turn up. But I'm trying to make sure I can actually walk for that, because doing a walk when you can't walk is pretty rough, innit? And I was like fucking Quasimodo leaving the office today. So it's one of those. How's Diesel doing? He's just popped in here behind me. He is fully deaf now, which is a fucking nightmare. Mr. Connor says, thoughts on the throw-ins into the box? Football's coming round in cycles, isn't it? I saw Sean Dyche talking about things with set plays coming back into fashion. I haven't got the book here. Oh, it's up there. I can't reach it from here, though. But, you know, there's Das Reboot. Literally talks about when Germany won the World Cup 2014. They worked so hard on set plays that they were confident that if they couldn't score in open play, that they would just get a standard and score from a set play. Because that, you know, you score 30% of your goals come from set plays on average. Roberto says, I'm a programmer and want to play with some XG or match data. Where do you recommend getting that stuff from? Depends on what you're looking for. There are, if you search like XG data API, there are some things that are kicking about, you know. MN2K says, Steve, you should drag Rio out on one of the morning walks. Rio lives in Dubai, mate. Now, I knew there's a plan for us to do something at Rio's. I just don't know when that is. There is a plan for us to do the podcast like once or twice a year from his, but I don't know when that's going to be. So, if and when that happens, we'll do it. Linda says, Steve, my grandson had an ACL injury last year. He's 16, hasn't played football since, and it's hurting him. But he told me he's listening to your morning videos and it helps him. That's fucking awesome. ACL's a long fucking road to recovery. Hopefully he gets back playing again. Because they're a fucking game changer. So hopefully he can sort himself out. Gibbsy says, don't get me wrong, it's a lovely place to live, the beaches and all that, but the people are a bit off. Cornwall, I'm presuming. Lee says, just got the Paddock Retro home shirt, first test run for my Sunday League training tonight. Nice. Tyler says, Rio dodging taxes. I don't think so, to be honest with you. He's got a load of businesses in the UK still, so he'll definitely still be doing plenty of tax paying. But also, fucking hell, man, Dubai's literally tax-free. You know, there's plenty of things that are tying me here, but I would love to pay fucking 0% tax. How cool would that be? Steve Harris says, are we going to get Rio, Uncle Pat and Rooney, etc. to play in the J.A. Walton and tell them to lump it? Have you seen fucking Papi Cisse and all them lot? It's all Stephen Ireland and Lescott's mates. We've played them a few times as Paddock. They're now turning out for Withenshaw Vets, doing an absolute fucking madness. I think, didn't they score 60? Was it Papi Cisse scored 60 the other day? Or Old Man Nias, one of them, scored 6 the other day. Just doing a fucking absolute madness. Abhinav says, Dubai is really now becoming a place for high net worth individuals to go and settle. I'm not a fan of Dubai, to be honest with you. It's got a real seedy vibe about it. I can't quite explain. It's just got like Qatar didn't have a seedy vibe. Qatar felt quite family friendly, but Dubai has got like this, don't know, just like not a nice vibe. Hungriest Alpaca says, morning mates, 4:35 a.m. in Melbourne. Good morning. What happens tomorrow? Bren says, massive well done on the comp. Also, morning videos are so good. I even replied to you saying, morning, mate. Good. That was literally the point. You was kind of supposed to, because I think you all get a little bit of dopamine by doing that sort of stuff. Liam says, do I think this generation of fans get too wrapped up in stats? I.e., if a striker doesn't score a goal a game, they're labelled as shit. Feel like Sesko's getting uncalled for stick. Yeah. Yeah, I think there is I'm guilty of it myself at times, but, you know, we spoke about it today a little bit on Paddock Podcast. Cunha hasn't scored or assisted, but does it mean he's played bad? Absolutely not. You know, and if we're just judging players on the basis of that, then why do we even watch the games? Why don't we just wait for the results to come in? Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole idea is that there's an enjoyment in the game, and then the result at the end of it, you get a little bit out of that as well. But, like, it should be the process of watching elite sportsmen do stuff that us mere mortals can't do. That's the whole point, surely, right? Justin says, spicy chicken flatbread from Greg's for me after the supreme sausage roll and the festive bake due soon. Not still wrapped up in the Jolly Carter saga. Chose 3 things to do today and got to it. No excuses. Love that. That's as simple as it is, isn't it? You know, I am a fucking big nerd. I fucking love my notebooks. Another field notes one. I've got fucking loads of them in here. And I've just actually took a new order of the realised all that shit was on top of it. I just took a new order of the moleskin ones. Getting ready to be unwrapped because I've got about 2 pages left in my daily driver one. So getting that one boxed off very soon. And then you got to get these with them too. These are little pen holders. Because the one sort of drawback of the moleskins is that there's nowhere to put your pen. So I buy these. Let's open these to show you. Getting Amazon for about 50p each. It's like a little sticker. Like a little sticker, and you stick it on the inside of the book. And it gives you like a little pen holder. You put your pens in there. Is that a nerdy thing? Yeah, it is. But do I care? Nope. I'm doing it. Fucking roll with it. Adam says, weirdly, there's no media hype over than 0 goals and assists for Cunha, maybe because you can't watch him play and say that he isn't being impactful, or that doesn't usually stop them. Doesn't. Gerard says, evening, Steve. I think we're going to go into next season with a Stiller-Anderson-Belabor partnership. Been a big fan of Stiller. He's gone to Stuttgart to see him play as a baller. I think he's on a list. Yeah, I have no idea who. But I think it's by the looks of this has got the makings of us developing some sort of a list, I think, hasn't it? Gav says slot equals Rafa Mark II. Very much could be, you know. Abhinav says, do I ever run into an Amazon van in the morning walk or back from there? Never. The Amazon vans don't venture out here. No, I don't know where those Amazon vans go, because whenever I get an Amazon delivery, it's usually a white van that's unmarked, usually, if I ever spot them. I don't know where those Amazon vans go. The millions. It's an Amazon distribution, so I don't know if they take them to smaller distribution centres or something. I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Do I think Bruno will ever be played as one of the 210s? Yeah. Compost says we need a specialist defensive powerhouse in midfield. I do agree with that. Will there be media hype now that works as an assist? Just you wait. Probably. Superfly Guy says, Greg's 1, sausage roll, 2, bacon and sausage baguette, 3, steak bake. I can't get mad at that, you know. Notch says, I reckon there'll be more than Stiller, Belabor, Wharton and Anderson that Ineos have their eyes on. Probably right. It's probably either those agents or those clubs have kind of let that one slip, isn't it? Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Back again in the morning, though. I don't know what time I'm getting up yet. So I had a real bad sleep last night after the High Rocks. And I'm in the red again today, recovery-wise, after my 1% the other day. So I don't know what time I'm going to be up. I'm probably going to be off the gym again tomorrow until Saturday, I think, just to try and get a bit of recovery done. But yeah, that's me, I think. Disco Stew says, Paddock fans podcast debated who would win in a Royal Rumble this week out of the Paddock squad. Who's your money on? Michael or KO'd, and there was a fucking Royal Rumble in a changing room last weekend. So it was one of those, innit? Anyway, right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Cheers everyone for tuning in. I'll see you all again in the morning. Not sure what time it'll be, but it'll be in the morning no matter what. So cheers everyone for getting in the mixer, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it,
then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.